You were known as a speedster in college. What do you think of the speed of the program so far? And then a really quick follow-up. Coach Bieniemy said fumbles are highest in that first game of the year, and obviously weather might be an element Thursday night as well. What kind of emphasis are coaches putting on ball security this week?
Well, to answer your first question, the speed of the NFL is something to be unmatched. This is literally it's a National Football League. It's the highest that you can possibly go as far as playing professional football. So the speed is going to be as fast as each game will be. Every game I feel like will be different, but the speed will ultimately be unmatched. As far as ball security, as far as week one, Coach Reed and Coach EB has hound down on in it as far as this week and really putting emphasis on the fact that they know this is the week that ball security should be a priority, and it is every week. But just knowing that the numbers of week one has always escalated, always been emphasis on ball security. Since I've been playing football, it's my job as far as running back to protect the football, and our job as an offense to protect the football. So we're going out there and protect the football and hold it high and tight and secure it.
Let's go to Blair Kirchhoff. Go ahead, Blair.
Clyde, I'm just wondering if Coach Bieniemy or any of the other coaches or teammates have mentioned to you what happened the last time the Chiefs started a rookie running back in an opening game.
No, sir. I have not been reminded.
So you don't know about the Kareem Hunt game a couple of years ago, 3 years ago in New England?
No, sir. I don't.
Okay. Hey, do you have any first game goals for yourself?
As far as my goals to go out and execute and do my job as far as my 111th. I know that as far as the game plan, the details that's in for the halfback, I'm going to hound on in on it. As far as study as much as I possibly can and prepare as much as I can up until game time and go out there and do my job on Thursday.
Let's go to Steve Walls. Go ahead, Steve.
Hey, what's going on?
What's up? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm curious, what would that first snap be like for you on Thursday night? I know some athletes, like to use the technique of closing their eyes and simulating a game-like situation. Have you done that at all and thought about what that first one would be like?
Oh, no. I haven't as far as the first snap. Don't even know as far as the first play. Still kind of doing some things throughout this game week. Everything's not finalized until ultimately we close everything up, and this is, ultimately we know the game plan. So as far as visualizing and ultimately my first snap, I'm gonna be nervous. That's just what it is. It's that goes to show that I'm a human and this is my first NFL game. I really don't know what to expect. It's a 22% of the fans are going to be there, so it's not going to be a full. Everything is kind of up in the air for everybody. So ultimately, my job is to put my helmet on and whenever they call a play, do my job.
Let's go to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Clyde, the last real football game you played in was for the national championship. So I'm just curious what your emotions are, what you talked a little bit about maybe being a little nervous on the first play. Just what can you compare this situation to that one as far as that goes?
As far as comparing it, I really don't want to compare the two just because it's two different levels. I don't want to say two different mindsets, but ultimately, I have to go in with a different mindset. This is not the college football national championship game. This is the opening game of my NFL season and NFL career. So ultimately, I'm coming in with not necessarily an open book, but knowing what I do best and knowing why I'm here and going out there and do that.
Go to Matt McMullen. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Clyde. So you've talked about your goals, but on Thursday night, you're realizing a lifelong dream. You've been working your whole life to do this. You'll be on a professional football field playing football. What's it going to mean to you to be playing for the Chiefs out there on Thursday night?
It's literally going to mean the world. It's going to mean everyone who has had their hand in the Clyde pot, which has not been a lot growing up. Just being from Baton Rouge and just understanding just the circumstance of coming out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, is for me, it's going to be important. But before the people that's around me that supported me the most, and ultimately got me through just the hardships of growing up where I grew up at. Ultimately, I'm doing it for them. And personally, you can say you're doing it for yourself, but ultimately it's the connections and everything that you make coming up in this profession. So ultimately, I just want to make those people happy.
Let's go to Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
It could be just because of the circumstances of this year, but it just seems like both locally and nationally, you have one of the most highly anticipated debuts of all time. How have you been able to handle really just a lot of this noise and hype going into what people are looking forward to watching in your game?
I really don't be on Twitter or Instagram. I like as far as fantasy and just being online and just social media and everything, I'm really not big on it. So I really don't see a lot of it. I come to practice every day, come to work, look at my stuff at night, and come in and do my job. Ultimately, I'm just doing what I've been doing my whole life. So I don't look into just those little things as far as this is what everybody's expecting. I know what I expect from myself. I know what they expect from me at this organization, and that's what I'm here to do what I need to do.
Let's go to Seren Petra. Go ahead, Seren. Oh, try that.
You got it?
You all right,
Gotcha. G? All right, thanks, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Clyde, I'm curious, have any of the vets, I know you mentioned the coaches a little bit talking to you, but is there any veteran combined giving you some advice, like who that is and what that advice is for the first game? And then secondarily, I know you're focused on this game, and that's where everything is. And you mentioned about the social media, but also going on right now, there are like a lot of running backs getting contracts, right? Alvin Kamara's in the news. Joe Mixon's getting it. I know you'd like to be there one day. Does that creep in, or are you paying attention to that while this is going on?
As far as me paying attention to other guys and what they have going on in their life, I'm not paying attention to it. I was in camp, guys getting contract extensions and everything else, and I'm learning a playbook. So I'm not worried about everything else going on over the course of the league. I only been here probably right at about officially here probably right at about a month and a half, 2 months. So as far as looking at everybody else's numbers, and I really wasn't concerned about it. First question, could you repeat it? I don't remember.
Just any of the veterans, has there been a veteran that's come by and given you some good advice about how it's going to change, pros, college? They always said, normally they tell you preseason's faster than, college, and then it gets even faster and then faster in the playoffs. I'm just curious if, you kind of had to skip that step. Is there any advice anyone's given you?
If I told you all the advice I've given, we'll be sitting here all day. I talked to Pat, talked to Darryl, talked to Sherm, I talked to D-Train, guys on defense. I talked to Tyron a lot as far as some of the things that he sees, the whole linebacker core as far as what they see in my run game. Talked to Chris Jones, some of the things that he sees from a defensive line standpoint and the things that they see from me. Talked to Frank Clark. It's as far as anything that I can get from everybody else that's pretty much going against me or can see the things that I'm doing, tendencies or anything. I try to get those outside perspectives so I can kind of mold my game into different little nuances and have people second guess all the things that I do. So ultimately, I've just been kind of getting a little nicks and knacks from everybody in the organization.
Looks like we've got time for a couple more guys. Let's go Matt and then Karen to close out. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Clyde. I was wondering if you could take us back to your first game at LSU and the feelings that you were going through that day, what was going through your mind, what stands out to you about that day?
Ultimately, my first game at LSU, I was playing in New Orleans. I was playing BYU. My freshman year, it was 2017. I was really just kind of floating. I was behind two guys. I was behind Darrell Williams and Darius Geis, also Nick Brossette. So I was really just hoping that I could get some spins during that game. Ended up getting some late in the fourth quarter, so kind of got the jitters out. But ultimately, nervousness. Two different ballparks. This is the NFL. That was college. Ultimately, I wasn't even going in and start my freshman first game. But so I'm ready to do this on Thursday.
Let's go to Karen to close it out. Go ahead, Miss Karen.
Hey, Clyde, just Two things. One, you're going to be facing Houston, a team that really is upset. They were up 24 points in the playoffs and then lost to the Chiefs, led by J.J. Watt, one of the best defensive players in the league. Is it exciting to be facing Houston your first time out on the field for the Chiefs? And then the second is just, you know, Arrowhead's the loudest stadium in the league when they have people. Is there a little disappointment that you're not going to feel that in the first game because there's just 22% of the fans? So the first question about J.J. Watt and their defense, and the second about not hearing the loudest stadium when you take the field.
Yes, ma'am. So as far as the first question, going against Houston for the first game is ultimately, I mean, competition is competition, and as far as us being the defending world champions, I mean, we're looking forward to any competition that we can possibly get. I mean, I'm excited. I grew up literally watching J.J. Watt on TV and playing against him on a video game and everything else. So, you know, all this, the whole NFL thing right now is still kind of, you know, crazy to me, but ultimately it's a reality. And then lastly, as far as the capacity of the stadium and understanding Chiefs Kingdom and how loud the stadium would be, I've never been to the stadium with the full crowd. So, you know, it's going to be a little weird with it not being 100% filled, but ultimately this would be my first time in the stadium with 22%. So as loud as it will get, that's the loudest that I would have ever heard it. So ultimately it's still, everything will be fresh and new to me. For some of those other vet guys, it'll be a little different to them, but for me, I'm still going to be in the moment.